talk about some recruiting. I know we haven't done this in quite some time, but our man Keith Napier dropped a little article. I haven't really followed it much because it has been so quiet. But with us losing guys, Ben Hanks tweeting out Miami photos. We mentioned him last week about possibly flipping as well. You know, you mentioned that. Okay, you go win 7, 8 games, you save your job. But this recruiting class is in turmoil right now, and it's early, and I understand those things. But you're not moving the right direction. You're not doing things on the field to move this thing in the right direction. So here, look, this is my pun for my little joke for the day because this is hilarious. Florida is hosting Desert Hill offensive tackle Simona F. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. He's 6'6", 295 pounds. I think he's leaning towards Utah State, I believe. Yeah, right now Utah State leads the way. If you're wondering what his ranking,
we're battling Utah State right now. Okay,
and Utah Tech and Southern Utah. 6'6", he has no rating, no stars, and he has no pictures. So when I read this, and this isn't a shot to the kid because I'm sure the kids could, and he may be one. And look, we've talked about this with Keith Napier too. Is like this staff does do a great job of finding needles in the haystack, which is great. But you can't build a team off of needles, okay? You gotta have some dogs. Yeah. I know you guys are gonna hate that, but you need to go get some dogs.
You gotta lay down the strong rebar, if you know what I mean. You can't just be doing the needles. That sounded kind of inappropriate, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So I was like, what is like everyone's like, we need to recruit. Everything's failing. Billy's like, I got you. Bam. 6'5", non-ranked offensive line.
You really made the Flex Seal graphic. Guys, I did not see this before the show, by the way. Oh, man.
When I read this, I go, man,
wow.
This is great. Because look, he's on high flip alert. He's on the left side. And the kid may be an up-and-comer. I think he's had a really good senior year. I think he's starting to get more attention. And look, this is a common trend for Florida. So this kid could end up being a 3-4 star by the end of it, but right now he isn't ranked, which I thought was funny. So we'll keep an eye on that. Look,
well, like they say in Rob Sale language, one offensive lineman's better than 0.
That's true. The other one is a 3-star, Charles Drew, offensive tackle, 6'5", 275. He's been earning more opportunities as a senior, so he's starting to get some more looks as well. He loves the Gators as well. Kind of what Keith was saying here in his article for Simona, the first offensive tackle, that basically it's kind of on Florida to say, yeah, we're ready to rock and roll on whether or not he thinks it could happen this weekend. So they're hosting a couple of guys, again, Jahara Medlock, Simona, both offensive linemen, and then Xavier Hardy, a defensive lineman, Mississippi State commit. I don't know what he's 6'6", 280 pounds. He is a 4-star defensive lineman. So we got some juice there. Got a little more sexiness. All right. So those guys in Mississippi State, South Carolina's making a charge. That would be a big time pickup if Florida is able to land him. Look, I just want to get a ton of trenches guys. So if we're able to, hell, we land all 3 of these guys. I mean, that's not. Did Rocket Money find any subscriptions you forgot about, or any you paid for twice and didn't realize it? Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Love Rocket Money. Glad that we were able to partner up with them. We've talked about this before. I like partnering with companies and working with companies that can benefit us and help us. And Rocket Money is one of those companies. I love their app. You're able to hop in there. It's kind of like your little mini accountant. And look, with nowadays things getting more expensive and increasing in price, and as many subscriptions that we have, whether it's the 19 TV shows we have to have or just random things that we get on iTunes that I get into all the time, which is horrible. This is great to be able to help you pull that out and show you, hey, you probably shouldn't need this thing. We can save you X amount for this year. And maybe go on a trip, maybe get your wife or something an extra, a little something a little nice and nice. So we're happy to be, again, partnered with Rocket Money. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's features. So stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. That's rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. rocketmoney.com/hightopsports. Not sexy with the first guy, but to a 3-star offensive lineman, a 4-star defensive lineman, and then possibly a 3-star offensive lineman. He may grow up, in the back end. We'll see how that plays out. But those guys are visited in this weekend. Look, this is the thing I think where Billy has really kind of cooled off, which we've really praised him on, is his recruiting. And we have been irrelevant in recruiting. So there was finally some news, a little bit of pulp pulse, pulp, whatever you want to say, in recruiting. Figured we bring it. I texted Dave, I go, hey, we're going to talk recruiting. He goes, what recruiting? And I go, fair enough. Flexio. Okay. Hit him with it.
Hey, that's kinda like what Rob Sale's doing on the offensive line recruiting right now. And some
Yeah,
flex
look,
seal to it.
and look, so the offensive line, I think, had one of its best weeks last week. I think Jake Slaughter took a step down, but Brandon Crenshaw had an 81.7 rating. I think Najee had a 77, and I want to say one more offensive lineman was up there. I think there was three offensive linemen in the top 10 for production. So look, to their
Yeah.
point, they're getting the production is getting better. I ask why 3 years, 6 games in, are we now starting to see it? But I digress. Um, so
Yeah, I mean, the development, I will say, I guess this year's better on the offensive line. That is really
seems like
intriguing
it's coming
because the
around.
last 2 years, I think I've noticed they've been doing less rotating too. So I think they're starting to find yeah, I know Billy Napier said he wasn't going to rotate. He's got his 5 offensive liner and all that, and I think that kind of what was killing them at the beginning of the year. So I think like not rotating them, having 5 guys you can trust there on the offensive line, I think that's helped a lot. Um, I think just I I knew that the rotating was going to stop. Somebody had told me that like, okay, well, they're going to stop rotating as many people, and I think maybe that's why you saw a defensive improvement against Tennessee and UCF is because they stopped kind of rotating. I even noticed that at the UCF game when I was there that they weren't rotating many people out. They were bringing people in and out to substitute like on certain plays, but they weren't rotating as much. And I think that's really helped out the defense, the offensive line, and everything else. And I'll be curious to see if they continue doing something like that, as the game and the season progresses, because I mean, they're gonna have to do something. I mean, you lost starting quarterback for the season. You got a true freshman quarterback playing in DJ Lagway, so he's very very skilled. We all know about what DJ Lagway can do, and I'm very curious to see what he does starting a game against Kentucky. Considering the last game he started, obviously threw for over 400 yards. Granted, it was Sanford, but still, you saw the arm talent. You saw what you needed to see out of DJ Lagway. Now it's time to kind of let's see if we can just put it all together and get the chips rolling, and hopefully, man, hopefully we can come out with a victory over Kentucky because Napier would be the first coach to lose to them 3 times in a row and never beat them. So
Brutal, brutal. Going on 3 years here. My buddy and I were talking today. Where my neighbor, he goes, we haven't beat Kentucky since I've known you. Maybe that's you're the problem. The
that's
flip
weird.
alert. Somebody just asked, is Simona the offensive tackle Fotola, 6'6", 295 pounds? And yes, I saw someone. You can't teach size, and that's been the motto for this Billy Napier and staff is getting the big guys, and we'll teach the rest. And I completely agree. But you see
Yeah.
the likes of Jordan
How
Seaton was
about
a top 5 or top 10 offensive lineman this week with an 88 or an 85 production score. Like
how about getting
plugged
the
in
high
year
four
one.
star, get the high 4-star, 5-star offensive linemen that are big and can move.
Yeah, those exist too. You know what I mean? We don't have to. We can get all of it if we go after it hard enough.